Okay, folks, let's get started with part 2, and we're going to start with the GPU. The GPU is very similar to the CPU, the central processing unit, which carries out the core processes of a computer. But the GPU developed, I think, the late 90s, early 2000s, along with gaming and 3D object rendering. And because of the heavy computational power, where it's, I guess it's capacity now, it's able to do things like 3D renderings, and financial modeling. In addition to that, cryptocurrency mining transactions, because these are solving the equations that essentially validate transactions, just to keep it simple here for you. But anyway, as I promised, I am actually going to give one of these away if for everyone that either likes, shares, or comments. Anyone that does one of those three things, either on Facebook or Twitter, I will raffle one of these away to the participants. So this is no scam. I just want to get the word out and help people get into cryptocurrency mining. Now let's get started. I'm actually going to jump back onto the screen flick here. You'll see me here momentarily, and we'll go install the Minera client. And then after that, I will pop out of the screen flick and just kind of show you what went on over here with these, with 12 of these. These are about $100 value. So I've got almost $1,000 of these things rigged up, but I'm only going to demonstrate 11 right now. So we'll get started here momentarily. We'll jump into screen flick here, and I will take you through the Minera client install. Hope you enjoy it. All right, folks, we're going to pick up right where we left off in part 1, and if you're there, great. If not, just a quick recap or refresh. If you take a look at your IP address from that mmap command I gave, it should be right here. You want to run this again, sudo nmap -s capital P space -n 10.0.1.0/24. That'll give you a list of all the hosts connected to your local network, and you should be able to identify the Raspberry Pi on your machine. So again, we're just picking up right where we left off. But here, if I run this, and again, I'm not going to display any of my commands here, but that should tell me exactly where I want to be, or what, where my the IP address I'm going to be targeting, or at least hitting for this exercise. So let's take a look back here at the command line. I've zoomed in upon request. The first thing I'm going to do is refer back to that gist, and this will be updated again, but for now, it's got everything we need. The first thing that we'll instruct you to do, we're going to pick up on part 2. Yes, the Gecko Science 2-pack USB stick miner, that's the GPU that I introduced, and that's what you're going to want to buy. They're about $100 a piece if you don't win the little giveaway that I have. And again, that's no scam. It's just me trying to get the word out about mining and helping everyone out, and hoping we get some maximum engagement on this. But that's the only thing you're going to need to really get yourself started with part 2. We are going to consider doing a part 3, and that'll be for the Dragon Mint miners. Those are about you have to buy 5 of them, but they're about $1,000 a piece, and those are the big giant miners you probably see pictures of in the newspaper or online. But anyway, let's get it started here. We're gonna run this command, and that's the curl command referenced in the Minera client page or home page. And if you go here, I'll just take a quick look and show you. So here, that install command that we're gonna install from the command line, we're gonna curl it. That's the command that referenced in the gist, and everything else I will show you exactly what's going on here. Again, that URL that you're going to be using, you can get that with the nmap command that I referenced in part 1 and part 2 of this tutorial. So let's go ahead and run the install here. From where we left off, it was probably going to take about 30 minutes. Again, rolling this command, the curl command, and then executing that and letting it download onto our Raspberry Pi and cycling through. Anyway, after about 30 minutes, we should be good to go. The next thing you'll notice here, it says open the URL after you ran the curl command. The Minera client install will prompt you to say enjoy Minera writing. There should be something that your IP address along with the Minera access. So you'll want to go ahead and copy that and just paste that right into your window, your Chrome browser here, whatever browser you're using. Paste that into your browser, and then we're going to access it. We're going to access the client here. So anyway, the default password for Minera is Minera. And you can see we are here. We are here. I'm going to disable privacy badger just in case this gives me any trouble. And then we're going to proceed with the rest of the tutorial here at point 6. I'm going to open the miner terminal. And then we're just going to run these commands here. Copy, paste it right into the window. Boom. That's going to prompt us for the password again. That's Minera. I'll try it one more time. Okay, pardon me. The login credentials will be user Minera and password Minera. So both the username and password are Minera for the Minera terminal window access. As you can see, we have successfully logged in. I'm going to proceed with the rest of these commands. And again, I'm not going to explain these just for the sake of time and effort. I really want to get people just acquainted with mining. You really don't have to understand these commands to really understand what's going on, but essentially what's happening here is I'm creating a new directory within this directory, and we're creating or cloning another repository to help us communicate with a slush pool or the slush pool account. So while you're doing this, might be a good time to go to slush pool, sign in, go to your workers, create a new worker here, and pick one. I'm just going to set up one of them that I've already been working with. It's called Achilles, and I'm going to go from there. But let's go back to the gist and proceed with the rest of the tutorial here. This won't take as long. It should only take, I'd say, maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. But I'm going to go ahead and sit through this one. So don't worry, I'm not going to leave your side right now. We're just going to go ahead and finish this out, and we'll be good to go. All right, next command to run is this one. I believe we just ran that one, sudo git clone. Okay, good. So now we're going to change directory and go to the CG miner folder. And then we're going to run another library install. Sudo stands for super user do. And some of these commands that may not work or give you an error, try prefixing sudo to it and entering your Raspberry Pi password. If there's any trouble, but I doubt you'll have any trouble. And if you do have trouble, please contact me. You can find me pretty much anywhere on the web. Good, good, good. These last few commands will start compiling some of the JavaScript, and then we're actually going to compile the rest of the Minera client here. This has to do with some of the, I guess, the active pool information or flags. And that's compiling the CG miner. This one's going to be compiling. All right, and let's compile. And change directory. And then finally exit. All right, now we've turned that session, and let's go to a few more things here. Okay, so now we're going to go to the settings within the Minera client here. I'm going to go to settings and then general. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and enable all of these section panels. I've already done that in a previous session here. So anyway, just make sure these are all turned on. All of these are turned on. Let's go ahead and report these in Fahrenheit. And then this is where we put in our slush pool credentials. So again, go to the slush pool, create an account. See a dashboard of some kind here. I'm going to pick one of the workers I've been using, and that's Achilles. It's really easy to create a new worker. Should be able to show you here. Yeah, new worker, right in front of me. It's getting late over here. New worker, and then you just create a new, it'll prompt you right through it. But anyway, I'm going to use the Achilles worker. You can see I've been messing around earlier today, just testing, making sure this tutorial will be great. I'm going to copy in the following information here again, because it corresponds to the slush pool account. So I'm going to copy and paste this into the pool URL. Of course, my username is Alexander J. Singleton. I'm going to chain the worker to me, Achilles. Password's going to be password. Just set it as password. It's a default password. Leave everything else unchecked. After I enter that in, let me see if I can remove this. Just ends up complicating. I'm not going to donate anything to the donation pool. I'm going to turn on the CG miner, the custom miner we have set up. And then there should be a prompt underneath here in the local miner settings after I set that. I might hit save to see if we can prompt that. After hitting save, there should be something detected there. There, perfect. That's the custom miner we've configured. Pre-configured miner options. I don't know if that'll be available. A second here. Yeah, I'm just going to select pre-configured miner options. So that's the default for the custom miner option. I'm going to enable logging, append JavaScript. And this is where our overclocking for our frequencies come into play here for the Gecko USB miners. I'm going to go ahead and enter this in, but just one caveat here. So I have 11 of those USB, or I think 12 on deck over here, as you can see. I'm going to give one of those away. Again, this is no scam whatsoever. I just want to get people involved in mining, or at least get the word out about it. If anyone will share or like any Facebook comment or like whatever, any engagement whatsoever on any social media posts pertaining to these tutorials by, I would say, let's say Christmas. So let's call it Christmas giveaway. I will enter you into a raffle, and I'll select the winner, and I'll pick on Christmas. So it'll be special. But let's go ahead and finish this. So the parameters here for the overclocking frequencies, I haven't had much success for a count over 10 at 75 megahertz. So I'm going to leave it at 75 for this tutorial. Let's see what else I'm going to slide on for auto start, auto delay, auto start the miner if it shuts off. Again, auto recover, switch it on, switch it on. Network settings, I'm not going to mess with that. Everything else here, we could probably change the password here. Before we exit the session, I'll change the password with y'all. Let's see here. Everything else is default, default, default. Should be good here. Okay, I'm going to hit save. Then I'm going to hit save and restart miner. And after I do that, I'm going to go ahead and plug in my the miner sockets over here. There's 2 USB drives powered to that industrial grade USB hub over here. So let me go ahead and switch over, and let's go ahead and save and restart. Plug these in. I'm going to power this off. Actually, you know what? Sometimes it has a tendency to act up. Let's see if it does. Yeah, looks like they're all firing up. Okay, I'm going to go to the dashboard. Okay, as you can see here, we're firing up. We're at 4105 gigahertz a second, and all of my miners are online. All the USB ant sticks. So it's 14. Is it 15? I guess I had 15. Let's see. 10, 14. Yeah. 10, 14. So I have 17 of these actually online. Pardon me, 17. And we're heating up. So you should be able to verify success within your slush pool account here. There should be some sort of reporting here within, I would say, 5 minutes. So let's take a look. Let's reload. As you can see, we're going up. And these are averaged throughout the day, so it's calculating the average throughout the day. So if there's an uptick here, it should register, but let's see. See anything happening here, but anyway, you get the point. You'll see something within, I'd say, 5 to 10 minutes, and you should see a graph like that within your slush pool miner worker dashboard there. So after this, again, I promised you to make sure we change the password here. Go to settings, user, and we're just going to change the password here. It's good for security. That'll be used again to access that Minera dashboard or client login. You know, when you go to your IP address /Minera, that will be your new password. Okay, and that's a wrap. That's part 2. There will probably be a part 3 when we, I guess, up the ante to the Dragon Mint miner, and I believe Mike Vanderpool and Rashawn Stovall will be hopefully participating on that broadcast or podcast or whatever we decide to do with this DevPunk series. But that's about it. There you have it. You're mining. You should be good to go. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me via any channel on the web. Thanks for tuning in. Happy mining.